These aren't always the big, obvious acts of discrimination. They're quiet. They're systemic. They're baked into the way meetings are run, how performance is evaluated, even how professionalism is defined. So let's break it down one layer at a time and talk about what needs to change. You've probably heard the phrase, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But for neurodivergent professionals, there's another layer: how you're expected to know it. Much of the modern workplace operates on unwritten social rules, such as small talk before meetings, deciphering tone in emails, or knowing when it's okay to speak up. For many neurodivergent folks, these unspoken and unwritten social norms aren't intuitive. The result? We might be seen as aloof, rude, or disengaged when we're actually just processing the world differently. We reward certain styles of communication, especially those that are fast, polished, and verbal. But not everyone processes or expresses information in that way. Someone might need more time to think, or communicate more comfortably in writing, or struggle with the spontaneous aspect of live meetings. Instead of recognizing communication diversity as a strength, many workplaces treat it as a deficit to be solved. Neurodivergent voices often get overlooked even when we have the exact insight that's needed. Let's talk about that dreaded phrase, not a good culture fit. This is one of the most common and vague reasons neurodivergent people get passed over for promotions, feedback, or even job offers. It often boils down to a mismatch in behavior or style. Maybe we stim in meetings. Maybe we don't participate in office happy hours. Maybe we bring headphones to focus. None of those things mean we aren't qualified, committed, or capable, but they often get misinterpreted and used against us. Many neurodivergent professionals thrive when we have autonomy through flexibility in our environment, our schedule, or the way we complete tasks. But traditional workplaces often resist that. There's a default assumption that productivity only looks one way: 9 to 5, in an open office, always available. When employers don't offer flexibility, they're not just being rigid. They're actively excluding people who work differently but just as effectively. Here's the kicker. Even when we ask for accommodations, we often get pushback or worse, penalized. Why? Because many accommodations for neurodivergence aren't visible. They're not ramps or elevators. They're things like wearing noise-canceling headphones, reduced meetings, or asynchronous deadlines. When employers don't see the need, they doubt the legitimacy. And that leads to us burning out from self-advocacy. We're constantly having to explain, justify, and prove our differences and challenges instead of being accepted and supported. So what do we do about all of this? First, if you're neurodivergent, know this: there is nothing wrong with you. You're not imagining these barriers. They're very real. And you're not alone. Second, if you're a leader, an ally, or someone with decision-making power, look deeper. Question the systems. Be flexible. And value the different ways people show up, speak up, and succeed. Workplaces don't need to be one size fits all. And when we embrace neurodiversity, everyone benefits, from innovation to empathy to performance.